Hello, Mr. Mike.
Uh,
Thank you for being videotaped. So we're here to do a reading workshop conference, and this is your first book, right, for reading workshop. And if you could just say for the benefit of the camera, just because I just loved what you said when you walked into the classroom today.
This book had the best ending that I've ever read in a book.
Okay. What made it so good without giving away a spoiler?
Just the way everything kind of wrapped itself up throughout the story.
And I think you also said it's one of the better books you've read,
Yes.
and it's
it
The
is.
Art of Racing in the Rain
Mhm.
by Garth Stein. What made it so good to you?
Well, the characters are all very well developed. I think the setting kind of suits the mood of the story and just how everything, like I said, connects throughout the whole story.
Talk about the character development. Which characters in particular?
Oh, it's written through the eyes of a dog, so you really get to know the owners of the dog throughout the story very well. So you get to know his main owner, Denny, very well, and then you get to kind of know everybody that plays a key role in his life, like his wife, his daughter. Unfortunately, you don't get to know his parents until later in the story, but you get to know his wife's family and how they play around his family and other people as well.
His wife's family are the ones that are like you want to punch, right? They're trying to get custody, right, of the daughter. Okay. Did you think it was corny that it was from the dog's perspective?
No, I actually thought that made it more interesting because in the first chapter it says, all I have is gestures, talking from the dog's perspective, and you're kind of confused, and then you kind of pick up on where the dog's coming from and why this bothers him so much.
The fact that he can't speak or communicate.
You can only gesture to people.
I thought it was really sad, I think, when the wife was sick and she forgot to let him out or something. And didn't he have an accident? And
Yes.
he, I don't know, I just thought that was
He,
really sad.
the owner was late coming home and he had an accident.
And he was so guilt-ridden and so upset over it.
Because he's like a person because of how smart he is, but he's in a dog's body. And it bothers him.
Talking about the race car references, because Denny's a driver, right?
Yes, pretty much the race car references are made to a person's life. So, the one I really remember was your car goes where your eye goes. So where you go, where you're taking yourself is where you go. And then it's you're responsible for being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. It's not anybody else's fault, it's yours. So when things do start to happen to the main character, Denny, he talks about how it's not only it's not everybody else's fault, but it's his for being in the position he was throughout his whole life, and how all the racing references connect to life, and how they kind of play a role in your life, and how they affect messing up a race or finishing a race.
I'm glad you got that part of it, because it's kind of the deeper,
Meaning.
the underlying meaning exactly. Would you read this author again? Or would you seek him out again?
Yes, because the way it was written, everything was well detailed. Things weren't left out. Everything was pretty much taken care of that you wanted to know about. So yeah, probably.
Okay. So because I know you read probably half the book this weekend, give or take, right?
Yeah.
So I know at first it was slow going. Was that more a product of your schedule? Was it more a product that you weren't that into the book yet? Or what was?
It was just more of that of my schedule. I kind of had to find time to read this weekend. I was kind of just all right, I'm going to do it. I have to finish it. And reading it, you know how when you read for a long time, you kind of get disinterested? It wasn't like that. It kept me interested the whole time. And it was a point where things continued to happen that kept you more interested each time you kept reading.
I'm just curious, this weekend, how many sittings would you say you read it in? How many times did you pick the book up?
Oh, 2, and I read from 3 to 6.
Oh my goodness, did your mother think you were sick or something?
No, I told her I was locking myself in my room and finishing it.
Good. Now, did you have to turn your phone off and turn your?
No, I kept it on. I just made sure that I read what I needed to, and then I could get to that after.
Okay. What about the length of the book? Would you say that was
It was
a
a
challenge
good
or
length.
just right?
It was a good length. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. Like I said, it takes the amount of pages that you need to get to understand everything, and it was enough because I was interested enough in the story that it was a good enough
Okay.
length.
What are you looking for your second book, do you think?
Something just as interesting. I don't really want to tail off with a book that's boring, so that because this book kind of raised my expectations for other books.
Exactly.
I don't want to read books that aren't as good.
Sure. Well, this is what I kind of call like an adult fiction bestseller. Like it's a little deeper than, and there is some wonderful YA out there, young adult stuff. But like you're saying, it's a little deeper, a little more layers to it. I can certainly find you a couple, and I'll put them on your desk, and you can check them out and choose to read them or not. And then, and are you sure you didn't cry at the end?
I'm positive.
You're sure? Not a little tear. A little tear. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, I'll grab those books.